there's like a link, I think it's in the top left, that's like course reserves. And you can search for our class, and then that's like all of the materials that you need for like the recommended.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll also say on a side note, Grace, when we were texting, was asking, we both couldn't remember what Tabitha was going to email the professor, and then I don't think we heard back.
Oh.
And so then I kind of remembered, I think what it was we were trying to figure out if we could change the sign-up sheet and the appendix because of the appendix, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I believe, wasn't Grace the one that was communicating with the professor? Like we kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe she can email the professor to follow up about
That's
that.
a good idea. She won't be on this chat tonight,
Right.
but obviously she'll watch this, and she's not out of the country like Tabitha, so I'm sure she can just send an email tomorrow and we'll know. Because aren't parts of that due in the next one? Parts of that is TM3, right?
Well, I think if I'm understanding correctly, our question about that was about how we signed up for the appendix part of it, right? So the people who are originally doing those sections in the TM, I need to pull it up, but then would just automatically do those appendix, right? So you would do the matching things?
Right, I think so. I think the biggest thing though is that because like I have no problem changing it so that it matches. I think it makes sense. I just don't think we looked at it when we did the sign up. The problem is we have to have it approved to change the sign up.
Right. So that's what we need Grace to ask, right? Is if we can get it approved to change the sign up.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. So I think all we're talking about today is feedback. Everyone got their stuff done on time. Good job, everyone. Yeah. I went ahead and made the feedback copy documents. Grace said she was going to, but when I checked today, it wasn't done, so I just went ahead and did it. You'll notice in the TM2 folder that I made in caps on the original documents, final. I should have just made it original, but I didn't, and now I'm too lazy to go back. And the feedback ones say feedback. So you should only be providing feedback on the ones that say feedback. And then the links are obviously in the TM2 final document at the bottom too. My one thing is, though, she has this thing where it says, it's like parentheses, your name, providing feedback for group mate's name, for topic, and then upload file here. I don't know how that applies. I mean, maybe it made sense, before Google Docs was really a thing, or if like she wants us to put that at the beginning of our comments, or like what, I don't know what she wants us to do. I don't think I fully ever got through all of the instructions on all of this. So if anyone knows, feel free to speak up.
It almost seems like she wants us to, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, just making sure. It almost seems like she wants us to individually put our feedback in, but that just sounds like a lot.
Right? Oh no.
Yeah.
Let me text that one person real quick and see what she says. I felt so bad for asking her so many questions. She was like, no, it's fine. That class is awful and it's so fresh in my brain. Don't even worry about it. Ask me as many questions as you need.
It's just set up so poorly. Like, I feel like there's a lot of projects that I've never even had to like talk to the professor about. Like, you just know what you need to do and you do it. But this one's terrible.
Right.
I mean, I feel like she's been pretty chill on the other things that we've turned in. So, like, and again, it's this like feedback. The first one is such a small part of our grade that if she can just clearly see who is providing feedback, and maybe somewhere on the document, if we reiterate who came up with the original work, so she has that like to quickly reference, I feel like she's just going to give us the point.
I also just
Yeah,
feel like, sorry, Kat, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Like in other classes, like the semester is longer, and I feel like you have more little assignments early on enough that you can like figure out how the professor's gonna grade. But in this class, we're like 2 weeks in, we've had no big assignments or no written assignments, so it's like I don't know what to expect out of any of it.
I have heard that this professor is really easy on grading. That's kind of why I took it. I took her. So as long as you just like do the work, then I've heard that she's really easy on grading, but I don't know that for sure.
I've had her before, and she is pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And I feel like she
Well, that
didn't
makes
give
me
us
feel
really
better.
quality feedback on like the first assignment that we turned in. Just like, thank you. I will add your questions. Like she didn't give any quality, so there was nothing to improve on, even though we probably didn't do it exactly as she wanted in the first place. So
I feel like this question that I just sent, my friend's name is Rebecca, is so confusing. Okay.
So are you saying that we should like write next to where it says like TM2A2, whoever did client population, that we should put like the name who did the original work?
So if you scroll up to above the links, but after the description of everything and before the links, in bold, it says your name providing feedback for group mate's name, for topic name, upload file here. And that's what I don't understand. That's where I'm like confused on what she wants. Watch, Grace and Tabitha are going to be watching this, and they're just going to be like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
Because
Like, this is how you're supposed to do it.
In the video, apparently we're supposed to provide feedback on everything that we didn't do, but the way that it's listed and the way that the description says, it looks like only one person has to provide feedback for this one thing.
Well, I don't know what she wants.
I feel like it's like there was an old way of doing it, and then there's an updated way of doing it, and they didn't delete all of the old instructions for how they did it previously.
I agree.
I'm having a hard time. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Brenna, I'm having a hard time finding that one because I clicked on TM2 final doc. Is that what I?
Yes, on that one. Sorry, I have like a million tabs open. So on that one, there's like all of like the detailed stuff about what has to be in each section, right? Where I put in everyone.
Yeah. Oh, there.
And then on page 4, towards the top, before the links, it has this weird thing talking about group name, individual name and like group feedback and all of that. So.
Okay, sorry, my thing wasn't loading fast enough.
Oh no, you're fine.
But yeah, then if you scroll down just a little bit further on that, it says use the track changes for minor editorial changes and comments for everything else. So I think that's just like that one makes the most sense. I think I also want to get a good grade on this, but I feel like if we just turn it in like that and she knows who did what, she's going to be okay with it. And if she wants it a different way, she'll let us know in the feedback.
I just messaged in like the Facebook Messenger just to see if anyone responds and clarifies. So you, Sydney, are saying that like you think the best course of action would just to be on the feedback documents, just due to like track changes, and everyone does it on the same one.
Mm-hmm.
And then have the original person's name, like who did the at the top next to the caption.
Yeah, I think that makes it the most clear. And then even if it's like wrong, I mean, unless we hear something different from the group post or your friend Brenna, but I mean, even if it's wrong, she at least knows who did everything, and then she can tell us how she wants it done the next time.
Well, right. I also don't think it's worth like wasting our time trying to speculate tonight, trying to like figure it out unless we hear back from someone or like from the professor or whatever. I think that's probably just the way we should do it.
Yeah. Let's see.
Brenna, I see a feedback one for the client populations, but not a final one. Do you want me to make it, or am I missing something?
It's because Brandy like shared it and you could edit it, but she didn't put it into the Google Drive. So that's why. So the link is still available to the professor, and the professor can still edit it and comment on it. It's just that it's not. I can't figure out how to share it. That if it's not like mine, or I am not like creating it in the drive. Does that make sense? So it's if you go to like the TM2 final doc and you go to Brandy's thing, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't figure out how to get it in the drive.
Oh.
Do I need to move it into the drive?
I mean, you can. It doesn't hurt to like have it there, you know.
I'm so not good with this Google stuff, so bear with me. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I don't think any of us are, honestly.
So go to the final client population one. Is that what I want to do, or do I want to go into Google Drive?
So if my understanding is if you go to your Google Drive or your Google Doc, that is the client population, right? Are you there?
Yeah, the final one?
Yeah. So then you go up to the top right and you press share.
Okay.
And then with that, it should say anyone with a link can edit.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And then my understanding is if you just send it, then it should just go directly into our.
It doesn't give me an option to send.
Down at the bottom, does it say done?
It says done.
Okay, so if you do that, I think it'll just end up in our. Oh no, that's not how you do it. I'm sorry.
Kristen, your last name's Bishop, right?
Yes.
I'm just adding everyone's name to the top of their original work documents.
Okay, sorry, Brandy. So if you go into, I think it's if you. I'm trying to see how I explain it. Do you guys know how to explain it in a better way?
Nope. That's why I just didn't to move it.
Okay,
So to add it to the drive, is that what you're asking, Brandy? Yeah. Okay, so open up a new tab on your internet.
Okay.
The top, it looks like a dialing pad on a phone. It's like 9 circles. Click on that. And then you say drive. It's a triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Click on that. And then it says new. Actually, if you want to just go to the folder that has the project in it first.
Okay.
And then I guess we can go to the TM2. And then you can click new. On the side, you see where it has the plus.
Okay.
And if you have it uploaded on your computer, you can put it in there like that. But do you just have it on Google Drive?
No, I have it in the computer too.
Okay, click new and then click file upload. And then upload it from there.
Okay.
I see it, I think. Something just popped up. Client population?
Yes.
Yep. Got it.
So
You're
that's
there?
where I need to put it
Yeah.
for future.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you want to just go into the folder that we're working in out of and click on new and then click on Google Docs and it says blank document, you can just start it from there and just work on it on the Google Drive instead of working on it on Microsoft Word. But that's up to you.
I'll see if I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, so my friend responded. Let me just finish by adding Kat's name to the top of hers before I forget. Okay, Kat, you already did it. Perfect. Okay. So she said, so if no one's looked, there's like a final document where we're supposed to copy and paste or like put everything in at the end. And that's what's supposed to be 70 pages. Or I'm 70 pages. So she said that they had one document on Google Docs going for the entire project besides the PowerPoint and PSI stuff. We had one, for them, we had 1 week stuff was due and the next week feedback was due and it was repeated. After a section was completed for the week, we would all give feedback on the document. Wait, after a section was completed for a week, we would all give feedback on the document with the comment button. And those have to stay in until the professor graded it. We left them all until the end of, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We left them all until the end when we edited everything for the final. In the handouts, it says those who didn't do anything for that section had to give feedback. But each week, we all gave feedback on each other for reinforcement and to make sure we were all participating. So it sounds like they basically did what we had planned on doing. They just did it in the one large document and just left it all there until the end.
And that's fine for the teacher, probably.
But then like my whole thing is if she wants it all in one document, why does she have multiple different places for multiple different links?
Right.
I think the multiple
Everyone on
documents is gonna be
Facebook. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I just think that the multiple documents is going to be easier to keep track of. Like we can still have like a running one with everything in it that we put in like once we've gotten feedback from the professor and the things have been graded, but
Right. I think keeping it all separate makes it seem easier, and then we can have one where like it's all copy and pasted and we can do that as we go. But I don't know. It's up to everyone else, honestly. Whatever's gonna make it easiest for everyone else to do.
I think how it's set up makes a lot, like, I think how you set it up, Brenna, that makes sense to me, but I'm easy going with whatever.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay. So is everyone good with that? Everyone has to give feedback on every single feedback document unless they wrote that document.
I guess. I mean, I'll do it.
So,
Yeah, and
before we
sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think, I thought we were emailing the professor about, the feedback as well, but I guess we decided that we're not and that it doesn't matter. I mean, we're just like gonna put in one like bullet point or whatever, for the feedback, right? For each person. And it's not like an elaborate thing, right?
Right. So just go into the document. If you go into like any one of the feedback ones, have you ever used like in a Word document, like tracking changes or making comments?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, that's how you have to do this.
and show
But that's what
How do you use track changes?
I'm sure if you look, there's a tutorial somewhere.
Yeah, do you
On
guys want
YouTube?
I can share my screen and show it to you if you want.
That'd
And
be
what is
good with me.
Well, that helps. Okay. I'm going to get on the Hangouts on my computer then.
When is the feedback due?
The 8th.
Okay.
I'm sorry, when?
The 8th, June.
So what's due this Tuesday?
My lit review that I've already done.
Oh, okay.
I went ahead and added that link to the TM doc on Canvas too when I saw that you were done with it. So
You guys can go ahead and give feedback on that if you want.
we get it all done and over with.
I need to start on the vocabulary. Does anybody have any input on what else I need to include besides the obvious, like all of the forms of differential reinforcement that we've already talked about?
With the vocabulary, do we also add in like all the different acronyms that we use?
That's what I'm going to put. Like, okay, if I'm using the DRL, then I'm going to put, what it is and DRL in parentheses.
Yeah. So I guess I was just thinking about that when I was doing my staff description of just like knowing what an RBT was or what a behavior analyst was, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't know if we were supposed to add that into the vocabulary, but I tried to make it very clear cut in my section so that was easy, like kind of to like copy and paste if needed.
Okay. Cool. And I'm sure that we'll probably get some feedback on what else needs to be in the vocabulary, but I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, that's.
Can you guys see my screen?
Nope.
No.
I see Sydney.
You have two little things up though. You have one where I can see you, and you have one where it's like your picture, like your wedding picture.
I'm like on it on my computer and my iPad.
Did you use the screen share button?
Yeah, and it's like showing up. Like I can see my screen through.
You have to hit start at the bottom, I believe.
Well, it says like stop sharing.
Oh,
Well,
That's weird.
I thought I was gonna have this down, but it's not working. But basically, I can kind of walk you guys through it on, like if you guys all go on to, I don't know which one. How about feedback, formal training setting description that Brenna did?
So I have to go to it from our TM2 document, right?
Right.
well, they're all in the drive too, so it's whatever.
Go to the one that says feedback.
Okay, so if I pick the one right out of the drive, it's fine.
Yes, it just has to be the one that says feedback on it. Yeah.
Okay. Which one are we going under? I'm sorry.
We can do
formal training.
Training
Formal
setting
training.
description. So then if you, so I'm going to make some changes after like the first paragraph. So it says there's a known risk of contamination or allergy. And I'm just going to write change by Sydney. And then I'm also, if you put your mouse over like towards the side of the document, a little almost like a speech bubble with a plus comes up and you can add the comment there. And it's going to highlight the section that I'm commenting on. So there I'm going to write new comment.
I don't see it.
So I just popped up a comment there.
I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Oh,
Nope.
there it goes on mine.
Okay, now I see it.
So that's where the comment will be. And then you can also reply to a comment next to the, like in the comment bubble that popped up. You can reply to it. You can just click on it. You can edit it. You can delete it. There's links to it. And then so that's where we'll make the big changes. Like I think you should use this word instead. I think you should add something. I think you should do something different. I think this is worded poorly, things like that. But then that part where you're just like changing like grammar or spelling or something, that we can just go ahead and change right in the document. We don't have to like leave a comment. And then to see those changes up at the top, right underneath the folder button next to help, it says all changes saved in Drive. If you click on that, you can see all the changes that were made on the right. So Brenna did the teal on my computer and I've done the purple.
What about if you click on tools and then you go down, it says review suggested edits. I think that might be another way to see it, potentially.
Right now, we haven't provided any suggested edits. We've only specifically edited it. So that I think is for if you have the like privacy on as like anytime that somebody edits it, it just pops up as a suggestion. But
Okay, so what we need to do, I think what we need to do is do it as a suggestion because that's the way that it'll track the changes.
No, because the changes are tracked like the way that I was just talking about.
Automatically?
Click on saved in Drive. Yep. And then you can click it and open it, and there's a list of all the changes that everybody's made with the.
So if we go back to the, document that we were all signing, the group contingency contract, will we be able to see all the changes made by other people?
You should be able to. I'm gonna double check.
Wait, can you say what you were saying again? I'm sorry. I was trying to. So, are you saying that you want to track changes just via like how Google Docs normally tracks them?
I think
How you can. No, I don't think that. I'm sorry. I don't mean to like. I don't think that's what she means though, because when you edit stuff in like Microsoft Word, and you can do it in Google Docs too. There's like ways where like you literally like the way it'll work is it'll like cross out what you've written and it has the change and you have to go through and like resolve them when you do it. So that's how I interpreted it.
I think that's
not
I think that's the same as Google Docs in that that's for like the big changes, like that's the feedback. But the minor changes that she's talking about for minor editorial, like changing the spelling of something, using the wrong tense, like things like that, it says you can use track changes for that and then comments for everything else. And I think that's what she means with comments.
Maybe we should ask her if she wants us to, like if we're doing it in Google Docs, if editing it directly and it tracks it automatically, if that'll be enough, or should we do it as a suggestion?
That's fine.
What do y'all think? Or do you think it's clear enough? I'm not familiar with Google Docs.
Project is clear.
Hmm?
I mean, I'm fine with whatever as long as we're like all on the same page.
So, okay, so my understanding is like wherever you make a thing, we're going to write change by blah, 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 and then you're going to write add a comment, and then you're going to write what you changed.
I don't think you have to write that. I was just doing that as the example.
Oh, I see. So what we can do is just highlight, like, let's say the first word formal training, we thought that it should be bold. So then you could like highlight it and then insert a comment there, right? And then say, I suggest this be bold, right? And then you press comment.
See, whatever Kristen just did, where you like put a line through whatever you were writing, that's what I thought she wanted.
Where is that?
It went away now, but she just
deleted it because I put that this is a test change and I didn't see it do anything different on my end. So
see, on mine it put like a line through what you were doing.
Did you guys
document that? Maybe that's why.
Did you guys see mine?
Yeah, yours is up there, Kat.
Did you guys read the instructions training manual where it says It says we can do whatever we want. We just have to be consistent as a group. It says every group member uses track changes and comments in Word, or every group member uses a Google Doc. Is that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think Brandy's right. Like, as long as we're consistent, we're gonna be fine. And if anyone's doing it wrong, it's not like someone can't go back and be like, "Hey, you should switch this."
Yeah.
So
And I
that
think
it's
we err on the side of comments, like where we need to, because it's kind of rude to just go in and like change somebody's stuff. But like, if your own name is spelled wrong in something, then just like change your name. You know, like
right.
if there's a red squiggly line under a word that's spelled wrong, then just like spell it the right way and move on. But like other stuff, like this should be bold, should be a comment so that we can see it more easily.
And that's also how the professor doesn't want us to change anything until she's gone through and seen it.
Right. Well, that's why we have the original documents, and then the feedback documents are separate, so that there's one that you can comment on, and then there's the one that we can comment on. Not like I agree we shouldn't change anything, but like that way there is like a separation of like what it was before and what it is now, kind of thing. So even if we did change it, she would still be able to see that we changed it almost.
Okay. That sounds good. So we're just going to end up like highlighting and then add a comment, right? Like what I just did.
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that then.
Does anyone else have? Grace had mentioned to me on Sunday about having everyone put their own links in the assignment page on the TM pages on Canvas, so that everyone has to be accountable for their own work as they complete it, and it doesn't fall on any one person. And then just one person would be responsible for uploading like the one actual document. I don't know how everyone else feels about that.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
So how I copy and pasted all of the links and put them on the Canvas page.
So what you're saying is that we should just each go into the Canvas page and copy our link, correct?
Where are
She's
they?
the one that brought it up. I personally didn't really have a problem copying and pasting the links as long as everyone had their links in the Google Doc. I didn't really have a problem with it, because if I'm copying my own link, I can copy everyone else's link at the same time, as long as everyone else has it done.
And maybe I think too, like sometimes I feel like the Canvas thing can be like, since you already know what you're doing, it could be helpful. But maybe if you have like a deadline so that you're not like chasing after everyone, because like that shouldn't be your responsibility, but just saying, okay, by 12 p.m. or by 3 o'clock Eastern time, it's done the day that it's due or something like that.
Right. I agree. Yeah. Here's the other thing. I mean, we still don't know like how stuff's gonna get graded. So even though like one section is mine and one section is yours, I don't want to lose points because I didn't copy and paste Kat's section and put it on the Canvas page. Like, it seems like if you don't have it done, you don't have it done, and it's as simple as that. But if it's there, I don't have a problem copying and pasting it and putting it on the Canvas page. So, does anyone else have anything else?
Okay, so going forward, I'm just making clarifying points. So we're gonna ask Grace to email the professor regarding making changes on the sign-up sheet, specifically the appendix section. We're going to go ahead and like highlight in the feedback of our for feedback section, we're going to highlight what we want and add a comment on the side. And then Brenna, you need to tell us what time you want us to have the links in on the form that you've made on Google Docs so that you will turn them in onto Canvas the day that it's due.
I mean, I think as long as everyone has them by like noon that the day they're due, that should be fine. Because honestly, if you have it as a Google Doc anyway, you can have the link posted as early as possible, and then it's just up to you whether or not you have it
Complete.
done. Yeah. So
That makes sense.
and then like obviously all of the feedback links are already created. So like we could go and put that on the Canvas page right now. It's just a matter that everyone does the feedback, and then Grace has to submit like the actual hard copy document on time.
Hmm.
That makes sense to me. Those are all, everyone agree to that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sounds good to me.
So what day are all the comments due by? Friday?
June 8th.
I'm just confused. Bear with me if you said this. May 31st, TM2A overview. Is that
That was the lit review.
okay?
That's done.
All right. So you want it due by what time on the 8th?
No,
Noon.
Okay.
just do it
Well,
before.
so yeah, I mean, if the noon thing is less important for the feedback because the feedback documents are already created. So you have to have your comments done before midnight of that night.
Okay.
Because the links will continue to be active, obviously. So, but anything you do in Google Docs automatically gets a timestamp. So she'll easily be able to see if like you're putting comments on a day late.
Okay.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
Sounds
Good. Thank you. And so, Brenna, are you going to copy and paste this link? Or I guess they'll be able to access it through Hangouts, right?
So this
We'll have to get
is
it
going to
on
make a
YouTube.
YouTube link. The reason I did it this way is because if I just screen recorded my own screen and I went to like other documents, it wouldn't record the same.
Oh, right.
So it'll be a link and I can like send it to everyone.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and try to meet, or we're going to try to meet next Tuesday.
I would assume so, but I would also just assume that it's going to be like a super quick meeting. We can maybe touch base about getting TM3 started.
Right.
Because I would imagine by then, at least the people who are in this group chat right now will have our comments done. You know, obviously Tabitha's out of the country, so I don't know that she'll have hers done. But I think obviously like take till the 8th if you need till the 8th. Everyone has other stuff going on. I understand that. But I do think next week we can maybe get the ball rolling on like what needs to be done for TM3.
Okay. That's like a big day. It's my husband's last day and they're doing a huge ceremony in the Coast Guard. So I'm going to try to make it that day, but I don't know with like festivities if they like end up. So I'm sorry, but I'll let you know by like middle of the day if I'll be able to attend. And if not, then could you do a similar thing and just record it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I really
enough.
Also, I have a quick question. I don't know if anybody else has looked at this, but with the way that the like whole appendices thing worked out, is I ended up with only like 3 original work assignments, which is fine for the class. But if anybody feels like they're doing way too much work, like feel free to reach out, and even if it's last minute, I can help or take over anything.
I have a TM do every single one.
Do you want me to take one of them, Kristen? I can take one in TM3 because I don't.
That
have
one's
anything
vocabulary. That's all.
Oh.
If you want to do vocabulary, that's fine. I haven't started it.
Team planner.
The only other two that I have are like I'm already working on with you.
Yeah. Okay. So we got to work together on this PowerPoint.
Yeah. So I can take vocabulary if you want.
Cool. No, if you want to just do, yeah, that might be all right.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize whenever we were doing it that I had signed up for something in 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it's better than signing up for like all of them in one TM.
Yeah.
Right. I guess. True.
I'm happy to help too. I don't know where I wrote down exactly what I'm doing, but I'm happy to help if anything comes up.
If anybody else wants any, if you want any help with the vocabulary, just let me know because I did the lit review, so I got a lot of stuff.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, guys, sounds good.
Okay. See ya.
See you next week.
Bye,
Bye,
friends.
guys.